We are back on the Rational Boomer podcast. Hopefully your day is going well. It is Friday, and we're doing a TikTok Live. Second one this week. We're going to give it a shot, see how many people we can get to show up. We'll have the normal people on the panel, and we'll take a lot of questions, comments, and get your perspective from a lot of people in the audience, too. I think there's a lot of value in getting a lot of people talking. It's not just about me blabbing away. I'd like to hear from you folks, too. So please, when you join in, make sure that you step up and participate. We'd love to hear from you. We have a couple of folks that are typically with us. They serve as being helpful on the panel as well as being moderators. And unfortunately, we need moderators these days because the Trump-the-fucks get a little wired up when we say some things that they don't like. And right now we have Rebecca with us. Rebecca, I hit TJ too, but he didn't show up. So how you doing, Rebecca?
I'm good, Mike. How are you?
Not doing too bad. Not doing too bad. I punched up TJ and then he dropped off. So I'll keep looking for him and put him back up when he comes back.
His phone was dying. He's probably trying to plug it in. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, anyway, he'll be around shortly, and we've got some other folks coming through too. What were your thoughts about some of the things that happened today? I mean, it seems like Donald Trump can't go 15 minutes without embarrassing himself. We had the situation over at the Fed when Donald Trump was trying to get a gotcha with Jerome Powell, saying, "See, I've got the receipts. This is how you're wasting money." And then Powell straightened his shit out by saying, "Well, you included a building that we finished 5 years ago during your term, dumb fuck." Yeah.
Yeah. And then people were playing the video where he's talking about how I can't believe that this guy was appointed and the person who appointed him is so stupid and he appointed him. And it's just.
Well, that's exactly it. That's what I'm saying. You know, he can't go 15 minutes without embarrassing himself. It's just absolutely amazing to me. And you know, he wanted to do that with Jerome Powell on the cameras so that we could hopefully be distracted from the obvious news. But what he did, in fact, was do something stupid, embarrass himself, and now it's going to be on every talk show, every news channel over and over again, illustrating perfectly how stupid Donald Trump is. It's just...
Yeah, but you know, the best part about it is that Jerome Powell was like, nope, sorry, you're wrong. And nobody ever does that with him. So that's like, it was like perfect.
And that's what you got to do. We've got TJ the plumber with us now too, Rebecca's better half, and a moderator and a panelist and stuff on this live. Welcome, TJ.
Hey, Mike, how you doing tonight?
Not too bad. You saw the Jerome Powell thing, I'm guessing, too.
Oh, I laughed watching Donald Trump wear a fucking hard hat. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
It had to be really embarrassing for him, which I love, by the way, because...
Well, it kind of made him look like a box because the width of that helmet is similar to the width of his ankles. So it kind of make him look like a rectangle there.
Yeah, absolutely. And Jerome Powell wasn't afraid to take him head on. You know, that he tried to, well, of course, you know, honestly, I believe that Donald Trump is so stupid. He didn't really know that the numbers he was given to him prepared by someone else were false.
No.
He wholeheartedly believed whatever his handlers told him was the truth. So he's trying to correct Jerome Powell, and Jerome Powell's like, no, motherfucker, that's not what the fuck's going on. You know, that building was built 5 years ago.
You notice how Donald Trump does that a lot of times? You know, he's always pulling out papers or press clippings to prove his point. He can't think for himself. He doesn't know for himself. He pulls out these papers, and it reminds me of an experience I had with my father, who had a personality just like Donald Trump. And it was it was a ridiculous situation, but my father did the same thing Donald Trump did in that similar situation. Well, he had been up to my uncle's place, and he left a bunch of stuff in the garage, and then he was unceremoniously kicked out. And then he told my uncle, I want my stuff back. And he says, you can get your stuff back, but you're going to have to help with some of the cost of some of these things. And he was too cowardly to come do it, you know? And so he went to court, and he went to small claims court. and so we're sitting there outside trying to figure this whole thing out. He doesn't even recognize me, his own son. And he pulls out this paper and he says, I've got such and such, such and such, such and such, such and such in that garage. So he had a whole list of all the things he had in the garage. And I just looked at him and I said, okay, you got a list of things you owned. Now, where's the proof that it's in the garage? And he looked at me, goes, well, that's pretty chicken shit. I go, you took us to court, motherfucker. This is about proof. Prove it. He got up and walked out, pissed off, threatening me on the way. And that's exactly what Donald Trump is doing. He thinks if it's on paper, it's absolute truth. But he ends up looking stupid in the process.
Threatened you how? I want to hear that part.
Well, not specifically to me, to my uncle who walked out with him and was kind of talking to him. And my uncle comes back and he said, listen, when we're walking out here, don't go in the parking lot. I wouldn't be too sure he wouldn't run you over. Now he wouldn't face me up. He wouldn't have faced me up face to face because he's a gutless piece of shit like Donald Trump is. But but it just reminded me of that whole situation. You know, he's acting real tough, goes into his pockets and pulls out this paperwork, and well, it's wrong. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't prove shit. Fuck you.
Right. Well,
I love seeing that.
That was the fatal fuck up of his handlers, because they thought they were gonna dupe Jerome Powell and baffle him with bullshit, but the guy's fucking smart, right? So
Yeah.
Donald Trump dumbly hands him the paper instead of trying to double down and just say that it costs what it costs and not, you know, they gave him some notes, you know, so he had them, but he fucked up and gave them to Jerome Powell. And Jerome Powell called his ass out on it. And it embarrassed the fuck out of him, and it was fucking great.
Well, and the interesting, and he said, well, that's part of it too. And Jerome said, no, it's not. It's not part of it. It was done 5 years ago, you
it's
dumb
funny
fuck.
because Jerome Powell is like, Donald Trump is like so like forceful about what he's saying, and Jerome Powell's like just so like, no,
He's like,
no,
you're a dumb fuck,
no, you're stupid.
Take this to court and see how it goes.
Right.
I'm going to pull up a friend of ours that I had on the show recently.
Will's here.
This is Kumquat 6 or Will.
Hey, Will.
And Will, how you doing today?
Hey, everybody. I'm
Hi,
doing
Will.
good. Hey, TJ, it's good to talk to you again. Been a while since I've been in exile.
It's been a minute.
Been a while. Yeah, I saw that. I didn't know what it was when I saw that, but I'm not surprised because they keep trying to. I was talking on the podcast with Mike, what we did on Monday,
Right.
Tuesday, was that if Trump gets rid of Jerome Powell, that's going to collapse the dollar.
Yeah.
Because no one's going to invest in the United States. It's going to be a disaster.
Well,
Because they know they're going to.
The dollar's already going down.
Right. And that would finish the job.
Right.
And he has no idea how true economics work. And he's surrounded by sycophants who have no idea. Howard Lutkin, did you see that troll talking about we have tariff deals in 2 weeks? They announced a deal with Japan. Japan's like, what? What deal? What are you talking about? There's no damn deal. I mean, and
Donald loves jumping the gun. Donald loves jumping the gun, saying we got a deal, but there is no deal. There is nothing in documentation. And the other people say, yeah, no, we don't really have a deal. This is what Donald Trump does. He bullshits and he expects people to believe him. And more people are realizing he's a fucking liar.
And that's the thing. I mean, even his people, like Lutnick says, they're going to pay the tariffs, the country. No, we're going to pay the tariffs. Prices are going up because of tariffs. What is it? General Motors is laying off what? Lost $1.1 billion due to tariffs. I mean, it's all there economically, but unfortunately, we're getting, hosed by this whole thing with Epstein, which I have no idea how this is going to end. I really don't. How that's going to work? I really don't. What's
Well,
going to happen?
well, well, the interesting thing that happened today, what happened yesterday, they voted to subpoena her with the oversight committee, and they also voted, at least preliminary, to get the files released. And then, of course, Todd Blanche, who is the deputy attorney general, was sent hurriedly over to the jail to talk to Ghislaine Maxwell. For the only reason it could possibly be is to try to see what she's going to say, try to influence what she's going to say, maybe cut a deal. I mean, the whole thing looks so ridiculous, so shady.
Well,
I don't know what they
so-
hope to accomplish.
That's the same as sending an underboss, the mob boss, sending
Yeah.
the underboss to intimidate somebody. It's the same
But
thing.
Yeah.
here's the thing: if she cuts a deal, are you telling me they are going to let a convicted human trafficker out on the streets? I mean,
Well,
no
look
one
who
puts
they-
that in perspective.
Look at the January 6 people. They
Yeah.
put them on the street,
Well, I
so it
know
wouldn't be
that.
that crazy.
Well,
I'll
a lot of them
be
work
honest
for
with you.
ICE now, so
I hope they pardon her. I hope he pardons her, because that will self-destruct MAGA and everybody in this country. That would be the dumbest move he could ever possibly do, because all the evidence will continue to come out, and people will see the things she was involved in.
Yeah.
It would be devastating to the Republican Party if he pardons her.
But
If they
Donald,
keep pushing that this stuff doesn't exist, he very may well pardon her. I mean,
but Donald Trump has a bigger problem than just the file that the FBI has. His problem is that there's a court case that put all this evidence out, and it's a public record, but it's not a public record, if you will. But eventually, that could be released. So, yeah, he can try to distract and delay from the FBI releasing the files, but now Congress has asked the FBI, or they subpoenaed the FBI, if I'm not mistaken, to release that file to the committee. 3 Republicans voted to have them.
Well, I'll tell you this though. Donald Trump wants to say it doesn't exist. Well, we know for a fact, the reports have come out that they must exist, because the report is that they put 1,000 FBI agents on this document to flag all of Donald Trump's references. They wouldn't have had to do that if it didn't exist. And today they announced that the DOJ is in possession of over 100,000 pages of these documents. So the fact of the matter is, it does exist. And here's what I think Donald Trump and the Republicans fail to understand. When they first talked about the Jeffrey Epstein files, none of these Trump-la-fucks was thinking, well, maybe Donald Trump's in it. They thought it was all Democrats. They wanted to see it badly before they knew Donald Trump, or they knew Donald Trump was involved. We did, of course. So whether Donald Trump's in it or not, that's not why they wanted to see these files. So by Donald Trump say, see, I'm not in it, we don't have to look at it, that's not going to cut it. They want to see it all.
Right.
They want to see everything, and that's the only way they're going to shut these people down.
Well, the bottom line is this. If I were accused of an egregious thing like SA, I would do everything in my power to prove my innocence. And he's just trying to hide it. So
Oh, yeah.
that complacency is his guilt. I mean, right there, there's nothing to see here, but I'm not going to release it. Bullshit.
And so to cover himself up, he has the National Intelligence Director, whose job is to watch other countries and keep us safe, going after something about Barack Obama, whose information is being fed to her by the Russians,
Yeah.
and trying to get everything turned on to Obama by calling him a traitor.
Right.
And I'm like going, you really think that's going to work? I mean, she's trying. She's selling it, but I don't think it's going to buy it.
Well, no, this whole they're talking about putting a special counsel or special investigator on this thing. Didn't they do that with Durham?
Prosecutor,
and Durham
yes.
didn't find anything? They already did this, and they found nothing. And again, it's nothing but an attempt to try to distract people. I'm going to pull somebody up here. I got to talk to this guy. Okay. Now, the guy coming up is a gentleman, or I assume a gentleman, by the name of Signal Man. Now, Signal Man, I saw you in the comments. You said, I requested to come on, and I haven't come on yet. I have questions. Here's what you have to understand, Signal Man. Just because you request, it isn't instantaneous. I take people a bit at a time. So now you're here, and I'm happy to answer or have everybody else answer the questions you're looking for.
Well, I guess my question is, why now? After all this time, we've pushed the whole Epstein thing. Our entire campaign was run on releasing the Epstein files. Why did they decide now to say that, well, those files don't exist? Did they think that their base was so incredibly stupid that they just wouldn't question it?
Yes.
Yes. Well, and you got to understand about Donald Trump. He doesn't think ahead. He's in it for immediate gratification. What's going to get me what I want now? And then he jumped on the Jeffrey Epstein bandwagon. And then when it comes to actually having to pay the piper, he's not willing to do it. You know, the other thing you have to understand about Donald Trump is he thinks he's a genius. He thinks he can talk his way out of anything. So he didn't even think this would be a problem. He's been blindsided by this, and now he doesn't know what to do. Yes, they are that stupid, Signal Man.
Yeah, but the problem is that 75% of America is educated.
Yeah, but probably only 20% of Republicans are educated. That's the problem.
Yeah, well,
And
there's
75% of that
20% of America that's not educated, and they'll
Right.
just go along with whatever he says.
Yeah, you also have to remember that the propaganda machine is strong.
Yeah, but people
Yeah.
are starting to see through that bullshit a little bit.
Well,
At
now,
least-
yeah.
At least some Trump supporters, and what I think is that it's the traditional Republicans, the hardcore original GOP, Republicans are. I think they're starting to see this as maybe an avenue to get Donald Trump out of their party.
Yeah, I'm wondering about that too. I was asking folks about this. You know, when you see people like Rupert Murdoch and you see some of these other people, do you think they've gotten to the point where he's now a liability as opposed to an asset?
Yeah.
And this is a way to run him out without impeaching him or something, just destroy his
but he's not
reputation,
gonna
which sounds
resign.
ridiculous.
Trump
No,
is not
he's
going to
gonna
resign. He's not.
No,
And I will
no.
say this,
No.
'cause someone was bringing up is, well, maybe it's better with J.D. Vance. Let me tell you what J.D. Vance is, guys. J.D. Vance is a convert. He's a convert to the Project 2025 Heritage Foundation religion. He had a speech in San Diego where he said some people are more American citizens than others. If he becomes president, he's going to be worse. Converts run inquisitions, and that worries me.
Yes.
No, I disagree with you. I don't think he's going to be worse because he can't command the Congress to do the things that Donald Trump can. I don't think he has a lot of respect from politicians. Nobody's fearful of J.D. Vance. Just because he's in the position of being the president, if that should happen, I don't think he's going to be worse. He's not going to be good. He's not going to be optimal for us. But I think we've got to deal with things a step at a time. Our big problem is Donald Trump. We want him out of the way somehow. Now, what I was getting at when I was saying the oligarchs and stuff are trying to throw him under the bus, I'm not saying he's going to resign because he won't resign.
Absolutely
What I'm saying is they're going to destroy his reputation enough to be able to get away with impeaching him without losing the base, hopefully. They're going to have to expose him for who he is to the people that love him no matter what, and they can only hope to get some of those people to realize, yeah, this guy's a fucking piece of shit.
Yeah.
Yes, but can they get enough? That's the question. I absolutely believe that the Republican Party, traditional Republican Party, is trying to get rid of Donald Trump, and they may make good bedfellows with the Heritage Foundation. I think they grossly underestimate Donald Trump's hardcore supporters. And I hate to say this, but that was the problem with this last election and the Democrats. We grossly underestimated the stupidity, the arrogance, the ignorance of Donald Trump's hardcore base.
I agree with you, Signal Man. In fact, I'll take that a step farther. I said this too. I said categorically that Kamala was going to win. Every bit of common sense and logic told me she was going to win. And then when she didn't win, somebody said, what happened? And I said that I overestimated the intelligence of this country, not just Trump-lefucks, but the other high percentage of people that voted for him just because he was Republican or just because they hated a black woman. The ignorance, the racism, the misogyny, the sexism, I underestimated that completely. And
Yes,
to me, that was
we all
frightening
did.
when I realized it. Yeah.
Yes. We all grossly underestimated the hatred, the homophobia, the bigotry, the loudness of that 30% of this country. But there's also what we underestimated was the 50% of America, 55% of America that don't vote because it's so inconvenient, because of voter suppression and gerrymandering. We grossly underestimated all of that.
We really did. And, part of that is the Democrats trying to do what they always do. We're the Democrats and we do it this way and we're going to focus on policies and such. But what they forgot is they were up against somebody who was unorthodox. It's like going into a boxing match and you think you're going to be fighting under normal conditions, but then this guy just keeps windmilling his arms. Now, he's probably going to lose, or he may not lose, or he may catch you and get lucky. You got to prepare for whoever you're going up against, and the Democrats certainly did not do that.
No, they did not. I agree with that. The Democrats really never offered anything. They didn't offer a viable alternative, and they were solely relying on the hatred of Donald Trump to win the election, and it didn't work.
Well, I also think that one of the reasons Donald Trump got elected the first time for sure, and maybe the second time too, is that people were so tired of the status quo when it comes to politics. And it goes back to what I've said. The Republicans have taken advantage of the middle class, but the Democrats haven't done as much for the middle class as they should have. People are getting tired about these elite politicians putting money in their pocket and telling us we can't afford to help you. People are tired about Congress in general and politics in general.
I mean, look
Yes.
at what's going on right now with the New York election. Hakeem Jeffries refuses to support Mondani, even though he's a Democrat. There's too much AIPAC money running around. Same thing with Chuck Schumer. And the thing about it is, who are they running? Who's running an independent that was their choice? Andrew Cuomo, a man who resigned in disgrace for doing the same things that Donald Trump was doing. And then you got Eric Adams, who would have been to jail for bribery if Trump hadn't thrown him a lifeline. Because they're afraid of someone like Mondani. And James Carville wrote an article today in the New York Times that it's a civil war in the Democrats because the old guard is trying to hold on to their power and money. The young guard is seeing what's going on and say, we need to stop this. But that's why you can't do anything, because they fight you every inch of the way. And if they don't wake up, you're going to end up with another Republican Congress, which is going to be worse for the next 2 years after 26.
Well, I'm hoping that there's not a major fuck up. And when I say that, the midterm elections are coming. We all know that the Republicans are going to get trounced in the midterm elections. There's no question.
Probably.
There's no question.
Maybe. We're still grossly underestimating the ignorance of white working class America.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm with Single
I
Man
agree.
on that one.
Right.
I'm with him on that one, TJ. Sorry.
Yeah,
And you have to.
I understand that, but historically, that's how it goes.
Democrats
also-
need to stop relying on their hatred of Donald Trump, and this is how bad things are going to be. They need to start offering the working class, white working class, high school educated America. They need to start offering us something.
That's what Mondani's doing in New York, and it's
Yes, I agree
freaking
with
out.
that. He is.
And
He
it's
is.
freaking out the upper echelon because they're going, oh my God, they might actually get things for people, and they hate that. That's what they hate. But
Yes,
then
yes.
they sell him as anti-Jew, anti-Semitic. They sell him as a terrorist because that's all they've got.
Oh yeah, they
he's-
sell him as a communist. They sell him as a socialist. Socialism. They spit those words out of their mouth like it's poison, and people don't understand the definition of it.
Oh
Yeah.
no,
We already
And-
live. We already live in a socialist country. You pay taxes, and you get services for that. That's socialism. You pay taxes, and they pave your fucking road so that you don't have potholes.
I know.
Taxes,
That's
you
the
have
beauty of all of it. It's
police force.
that we're. I mean, why do you pay your taxes? So that you can have libraries, so you can have public education, so you can have your roads fixed, so you can have all of these things.
That's
God damn it,
socialism.
that's socialism. You stupid fuckers.
yeah, but they sell that. But they sell that single man as waste.
Yeah,
They sell that as a
they sell
burden
it
on the working
they
man.
sell it as the government is stealing from you and giving it to someone who doesn't deserve it. But that's you.
Good. Don't pave the fucking roads. Don't pave the roads for fucking 10 years.
Well, we're
You see
seeing
how people
TJ.
fucking
We're
like-
seeing that. We're seeing that now with the cuts in the government, with the FAA, the State Department. Hey, by the way, guys, do you know Cambodia and Thailand are about to go to war? No one mentioned that. I saw
No,
that today
nobody's
in
talking
the
about that.
news. Yeah, I mean, they're war. If we had maybe a diplomatic corps to step in, oh no, we don't, because we fired everyone. Because they're purposely destroying the government to prove the government doesn't work. And then when everyone's standing around and going, well, how come I'm not getting stuff done? It's what you voted for, fools. And they just sit there,
Exactly.
you know.
I live in Illinois. I am in a blue state that is it's blue all the way except for the 5 counties outside of Chicago and maybe Champaign County and maybe down towards St. Louis. The rest of Illinois is incredibly red. These people bitch about their property taxes, but you voted for the goddamn Republican tax assessor that keeps raising your taxes.
Yep.
Right.
It's sheer
Remember-
stupidity.
My
that-
mantra has always been to vote Republican is to court death because they don't care about you.
No.
Well,
And they
and,
prove it.
and like you said, Signal Man, we hope that people have learned a lesson. I've often said that people don't learn a lesson until they get kicked in the ass, and hopefully enough people are getting kicked in the ass that will just vote for Donald Trump because they want to own the libtards and realize that they're voting against their own self-interest. I would say logic and common sense would say it's going to be a wipeout in the midterms. And I do think that's what's going to happen, but I don't know that I'd bet the house on it because of what happened on November 5th. Will the Democrats learn a lesson? Will we get people that know how to fight against this kind of enemy? I think these young people that are cropping up and running for election, I think that's a good sign. I think we need more of that. We need to get the old guard the fuck out and let the young people take over and determine their own destiny.
Well, that's what
Absolutely.
That's what
I mean, me being 58 years old, I firmly believe in an age limit to run for office. I mean,
Yeah.
what purpose
Hallelujah.
does it serve? I've said this a million times. What purpose does it serve to step on another man in a sewer when at the end of the day, you're still standing in the same goddamn sewer?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. People, we're not, it's sad to say that we don't, at least 49% of this country is either stupid or evil. And I like to take the bright side. I like to look at the glass half full. So I'm going to assume they're stupid. But 49% of the people in this country voted for Donald Trump after knowing everything they know. Now they know even more. The people who will still vote for Donald Trump, we have to acknowledge who they are. They're criminal, they're corrupt, they support predators, they support trafficking. That's who they are, and that's how we should be addressed. I don't know if you saw, there was a press conference with Ron DeSantis, and somebody in the crowd went off on him, calling him all kinds of names, saying he supports Donald Trump. I'm going to use a different term here, but you'll know what I mean. He was calling Ron DeSantis a PDF file multiple times on television. And that's the kind of energy that needs to be out there. These people need to be attacked every time they show up. All these members of Congress that are getting out of Congress so they don't get the heat that's coming with these Epstein files and stuff, they're just going home to their districts. I can't wait to see the town halls there. You got the economy, you got Jeffrey Epstein, you got all the other bullshit. These people, hopefully, will just get ransacked when they get there.
Well, you're right. I've said this also, that it will never dawn on Trump supporters until it hits them in their pocketbook. When they are physically, monetarily affected by all of this, then they might, maybe, start to wake up.
Yeah, but even then, they'll just blame it on Biden or somebody else.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. There's that too. They'll find some way to blame it on someone else, and there's always going to be the uneducated base who are going to go along with that. But somewhere in all of this, I hope that there's enough people who say, "Hey, wait a minute, this shit ain't right. This is hitting me in my home."
Do you live in a rural area?
Oh God. Do I ever? I live in the most red part of Illinois you can imagine.
I think I've been there. I've been to a red Illinois. Now, how is this affecting your health care there in the hospitals? Are you getting hospitals closing?
No. The thing is that, well,
Yet.
I live in Douglas County, and I'm sure you know this name. We are represented by Mary Miller.
Yeah, well, I don't know her, but I've heard of her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
She's the one who quoted Adolf Hitler and said that Adolf Hitler was right. He who owns the children gains the future.
Yeah.
But I also live near Champaign County, which is Champaign, Illinois, the University of Illinois. It's an incredibly blue city and blue county.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So we're blue dots in a sea of red down here.
Right, absolutely. Well, Signal Man, I'm going to let you go, and I'm going to bring some other people up here. I appreciate it. Thank you very much, and feel free to come back anytime.
Thank you, Signal Man. I appreciate
Thank you
you,
for having me, brother.
No problem. Thank you. You know, we hear from people all around the country, and they are all struggling with the same things we are struggling with, and it's just frustrating that there are some people in this country that just can't grasp where the problems are.
I was going to bring something up to TJ because you're union brother like I am, retired Teamster here. Have you seen HR 1391?
No, I'm not familiar with that.
Okay, so HR 1391 is still going through Congress. It's called the Modern Workers Empowerment Act. It is there to remove every damn protection for workers to allow companies to redefine you as a gig employee, as an independent contractor, which means they don't have to pay your health, they don't have to give you full time, and this is getting through Congress.
Yeah,
and I haven't heard a motherfucking word from Teamsters or UAW because they're serious.
Yeah,
they will change. That is not good.
that
And I start reading through that thing. It's scary, dude.
Will, let them respond.
that seems unlikely to me that they'll be able to pass that. And actually, that type of legislation is illegal in Pennsylvania. Even if the federal government passes it, it doesn't square with our state law. So I just don't see there's even though that the Republican Party is generally anti-worker, there's a lot of Republicans in Congress and in the Senate that are pro-labor Republicans. I know that seems weird, but I don't think they're going to get the votes to pass that.
You mean
Well,
Lisa
hopefully not.
McCarthy might stand up for something?
Yeah,
Well, I doubt that.
well, there's some Republicans in the House that have been backed by certain labor groups, and so and some of those Republicans are not the worst of they're not the worst of the worst. They're not the Lauren Boeberts. They're not the Marjorie Taylor Greens. They're kind of like more center right Republicans. So I don't really see them being able to get the votes to pass that.
Got
I
out of
would I would
committee.
say that I would say that's true unless Donald Trump sticks his nose in it and he starts making calls, because all these people that you think are reasonable end up voting right down the line with what Donald Trump wants. So if Donald Trump's too busy or too confused and doesn't get involved in it and doesn't make the calls, it may not pass. But if Donald Trump starts making calls, well, look at the crazy shit they passed already.
That sounds like a tax disaster for the government, though. Being a gig
Yeah, so
employee.
do tariffs. Who the fuck cares?
Well, that's an economic disaster. But what
But
I
see,
mean is,
it's supported by oligarchs because they think they're going to make more money.
Yeah.
That's where things going to benefit them. Again, really rich people are nothing but fat dragons sitting in a cave, sitting on too much gold. They're never going to spend, but they want more.
well, that
And it's
will,
just
that legislation will inevitably, if they pass something like that, it would inevitably destroy red states, because red states usually are right to work, and they don't have prevailing wage laws like the blue states and some of the states like mine that are swing states. So without having the prevailing wage laws and those things in place, that legislation will actually cause their revenue to go down and their wages to go down.
Yeah.
I know, but this is a concept of owning the libs again. And if
Yeah.
the rich people say it's good, we're going to do it, especially if you're going to break your union, because the unions to them are ridiculous. They put it in with communism. They have no idea what they're talking about, as usual.
Yeah.
It's just sad to watch, and it's upsetting because we don't. I mean, we're at the thing. We're going to have to start doing stuff ourselves. There's a call for a national strike on August 8th, and I think we need to look at that.
Well, I think we do too. I'm going to pull somebody else up here. This is Elizabeth. Let's see if she pops up here and she's ready to go. Hi, Elizabeth. How you doing? What's on your mind? Elizabeth.
Nope.
Yeah,
No,
it seems like Elizabeth's not with us. Let's try somebody else. Let's try Truth Chaser. I like this name. And if he stands behind the name,
Yeah.
we'll see if this guy. Now, this one seems like it's kind of shaky. He'd been there for a while, so I assumed he wanted to come up, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Sometimes you're getting people. Well, you're scaring people off. Lighten up.
Yeah, right?
You knew the job was
All right.
dangerous when you took it.
Yeah, that's true. Well, this one we know we'll talk.
Well, they heard about your TikTok problems, and they're scared away.
Yeah, no, or they listen to the podcast on Tuesday. Shell, how you doing?
Yeah, I
I'm
was a
good.
little
How are you
abrupt.
guys?
Hey, Shell.
Hey, Shell.
Hi. So, did you guys see Trump's little visit at the Federal Reserve?
Yep.
We did. We talked about that early on. That was quite
Did you?
embarrassing, and I enjoyed it. Yeah.
I think I watched it 175,000 times.
Yeah, because Jerome Powell's a fucking superstar.
I really truly think I watched it 175,000 times, and I laughed like a schoolgirl every time.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is how he responds to it. He throws it out to him. Jerome Powell puts it in his face, embarrasses him, and he just kind of nods and goes, "Well, it's still part of it." No, it's not. This guy didn't know what to do. I mean, here's the president of the United States who has documents in his hand, and he's calling out the Fed chairman. And he's so unprepared and so unaware that this guy looks at this paper he's never seen before, and in 20 seconds, he burns Donald Trump to the ground. What's that say about the intelligence of Donald Trump?
Exactly. Exactly. It says everything.
Yeah, I agree. He's a dumb motherfucker. I just call him like I see him. I mean, he does this every day. This whole thing with the Jeffrey Epstein thing, the only reason it's exploded to this level is because he won't shut up. So keep talking, Donnie. You'll bury yourself eventually.
Not soon enough. Oh, sorry. Side note. So, did you the way the Democrats handled the House Oversight Committee when they got it passed to get a subpoena through? Did you hear it?
I didn't. I heard about it, but please tell us because I don't know that I got all of it.
So the Democrats, of course, with the number that's in there, it wasn't going to pass, and they knew it. So some Republicans had left. So the Democrats took a real quick count, realized that they could force a count, which means it has to be done, and that they would win the count that way because they knew those Republicans would vote with them. That's how they got it. That's how they got the subpoena.
Wow. Well, it's nice to see that they're playing in the game they're in, and going after Republicans like they should have been doing for the last 6 years.
That's my whole point about this. This is the energy I want to see every day.
I agree. Hey, we got to keep this energy. We got to keep going after them.
Yeah, I am so over when they go low, we go high. I want to go under the dirt. I mean, I'm just done with this. I mean, poor Will. I worry about Will every single day.
You're worried about Will?
I mean, I was up out in the open. I was talking to my wife on the way down. She goes, and she made a good point, and I'm going to go with her. If you hide, they win. And she's right.
Yeah.
She's right.
Yeah.
I mean, F it. I mean, and I know the stories are out there, and it's horrible. And one 18-year-old got picked up the other day in Florida by Florida State Patrol to turn him over to ICE. And he had his phone rolling while they arrested him. He's an American citizen. The officer said over his arrested body, "Yeah, that's two more. We're close to that $30,000 bonus." That's what these guys care about.
Damn.
Yeah, it's like a bounty they have out there. I wanted to ask you guys, one of the things I'm hearing about Donald Trump is there's some reports coming out that in the White House it's a little crazy up in that bitch because Donald Trump is spinning and spiraling and swearing and spitting. And part of the reason was because of that South Park show yesterday. Now, I've seen only clips of it, but I think it's hilarious. I like the one where the deepfake AI with him running through the desert or some stuff, and he ends up completely naked, blubbery and goofy looking and running and sweating and stuff. I thought the thing was hilarious, and I knew Donald Trump would get upset. And Donald Trump said this about South Park. He says, well, that show's irrelevant. It's hanging by a thread. It hasn't been relevant for 20 years.
Really?
Well, they're relevant enough to have signed a deal with Paramount for $1.5 billion. Yeah. So who's relevant here? And you know what the thing is today the FCC agreed to merge Paramount with Skydance. In spite of what they did on South Park. So why did you have to get rid of a Colbert if South Park is going to rip them to shreds?
I mean, a little bribery didn't work, but they didn't expect South Park to do that. I don't think they did. Maybe they did.
They didn't.
I mean, and the thing about Trey Parker et al., they signed that contract. They went after him, and they have 1.5 billion fucks to give. And what are you going to do?
Yeah.
Fire them? Because I know Netflix is waiting. The reason they gave him that money, Netflix was ready to give him that money.
Yeah.
Netflix
Right.
was ready for that show. And
Yeah.
so,
Everybody is waiting to give him that money. Everybody. They're on Paramount Plus. Who gives a crap about Paramount Plus? Like, they're so lucky to have them. They're like the only show on Paramount Plus that makes them any money. Like, so everybody will give them that money to do what they do.
Well, I have to wonder now that this merger's gone through, does CBS and Paramount or Paramount and Skydance tell Donald to fuck himself because they got what they
well,
wanted?
they
That's what
did.
they should do.
60 Minutes, the new editor for 60 Minutes was a woman who was working under the last guy for the last decade or so. And all the reporters are happy. They placed her in here yesterday, the day before the merger came through. So, like you were saying the other day, today, Mike, that it just might be okay. We got what we wanted. Go get him. So it cost us
But
Colbert and $16 million. Go get him. We don't care anymore.
but
We
here's
got our
the
money.
here's the thing, and Skydance walked right into this. I don't even know what movies they do. I think I've seen some of them, but I can't name them. Skydance and Paramount, if they want to redeem themselves, it's going to take a lot because they are now attached to this whole quid pro quo bullshit thing that they were part of. They wanted so badly that to have this merger, but now they have to deal with the after effects of bending the knee to Donald Trump. If you want to redeem yourself from that, you better go fucking nuts and go after this piece of shit. And I don't know that they will. You know, they're just happy that they made their pot of gold, and maybe they'll slowly but surely try to redeem themselves. But as far as I'm concerned, Paramount is irredeemable, and Skydance, just by virtue of them being part of this whole thing, as far as I'm concerned, they're irredeemable too.
So, can I give the entertainment response to that statement in
Sure,
general?
sure.
So, let me talk about it on this side. And don't get me wrong, I love Stephen Colbert and would watch his show for eternity. So, let me start with
Yeah.
that. But let me also come at it from a different angle. And I'm not defending Paramount in any way, I'm just giving background. So there are many shows over the last, I don't know what this trend is, but over the last 2 weeks with talking heads or one person sitting at a desk or three people sitting at a desk that are now gone.
Yeah.
Entertainment news is one of those that just went today. Several sports shows at my network were canceled. There is a big movement away from a face in front of a camera telling us what we're supposed to do or comedy wise or that type of stuff. There is a big movement away from that. I don't know why. I don't know if it's political climate. I don't know what it is, but I know that's what we're seeing here.
Well, we know the networks are struggling, the main
It's
networks. And Colbert apparently wasn't
the
making money. I don't know that that's true. But media is changing entirely. It's going toward streaming, it's going toward independent type stuff.
Yes.
And the networks just don't know what to fucking do about it. That's probably why they were so desperate to merge with Skydance.
it's literally the death of networks right now, and Colbert was probably the last thing like that was keeping CBS alive.
Oh,
It's not.
sorry.
There's not much on that network that was going to keep them alive.
Well, 60 Minutes might have, but they pretty much destroyed that too.
Exactly, like that was already gone.
So
Right.
let's talk about the networks. So CBS proper, which is the one down in the I guess not downtown, but down in the district. CBS proper is closing. There will be no more filming on any of that. It's probably going to be condos in a couple of years. That's where Young and the Restless, Price is Right, all of those type of little thing. I believe American Idol was also taped on that lot. Gone. NBC's lot gone, has been gone for quite a long time from Los Angeles area. 21st Century Fox lot. Disney just moved off the lot, and some other people moved off the lot. Disney's downsizing and bringing all of their people to Burbank. Yeah,
Well,
it's not good.
And then they
Well,
do a lot of
I-
their stuff here in Atlanta still. Disney does.
and I guess I have to confess to this that clearly the sheer power of the rational boomer is putting a lot of pressure on these people, and they're going out of business because
Yes.
we're pulling them into
That's
the
right.
rational boomer.
That's right.
Yeah. But 'cause
Even if that's
you
not
look
true,
at it-
that's what I'm going with.
But
if
you know, the
look at
sad
it,
thing about it
I'm
is
sorry,
a
go ahead,
lot of
Sean.
the networks were union. These digital streaming services
Yeah.
don't know nothing about a union.
That's true. That's true. But isn't it a lot like the music business? They could see some things coming, and they were too cocky or too arrogant and didn't prepare for it because they had all the tools to get involved. And CBS is involved in streaming to a certain extent too. There's just not as much money in it as what used to be in the networks. Everything's changing in media right now. And apparently they didn't prepare for that shift, or they didn't think it was going to happen.
I think the way you said it in the beginning when you said they were just too cocky, I think they thought in their mind that television was never going to go away. And what is this streaming you're talking about? And
Yeah.
the dinosaurs killed themselves, or whatever I'm supposed to say here. Sorry.
Yeah.
So yeah, the dinosaurs did themselves in, and they went in the tar pits, and now they're no more.
Right. Well, the music business went through the same thing, and they still struggle with this now. They could have probably controlled this thing had they not been arrogant about it. But it's just a natural change of things. People are going to be watching the streaming networks or YouTube. Honestly, I don't watch network news ever. I don't even have network news other than the cable stuff that's on the streaming. I don't watch anything that's network anymore, and it's not by choice necessarily. I just don't have access to it because I'm not on a cable access thing. I'm streaming whatever the hell I want. And I think a lot of people are doing that. And I think the young people of this country consume media totally different. They want the short stuff like the TikToks or YouTube or stuff. They don't want to sit down for an hour and a half to watch a movie or watch a television program. So they got to get with the times and cater to the people who are now their audience.
We haven't had network TV in what TJ, 7 years at least? Yeah, at least 7 years. We haven't had any network TV. We have streaming, and we have like a couple subscriptions to things so we can get news outlets, but we haven't had actual like network TV in years.
And so many of these networks, though, the other networks put out shows that are really good, and people go out of the way and pay to watch them. I've been caught up watching For All Mankind on Apple TV. That's an incredible show. It's an amazing show, amazing production and everything that you couldn't do on network. Network doesn't. You couldn't do that, and also they can get niche stuff because people look for certain things that appeal to them. Because like if I go through Netflix, I can watch Korean dramas, which are really damn good. I mean, so networks are dying because people's tastes have changed. I'm an old dude, but I like new stuff. And that's the problem. You can't recycle this anymore.
Somebody talked me into watching the documentary about Jane Mansfield. And I thought, this is going to be dumb. I was pretty young when she died. I didn't know a lot about her. I knew she was a sex symbol and all that sort of stuff. And I know Mariska Hargitay is her daughter. But I got to tell you, I watched the documentary, my wife and I, and it was very compelling. It was very well done. I guess Mariska Hargitay was the producer on it. But there is a lot of things that you can watch. And I think best of all, unlike networks, the on-demand part of it is important. Because if I sit down at 7:30 at night and I want to watch a specific show, I can watch it on streaming. And it's like, the years I spent in radio. You listen to live radio and you want to hear something, but you can't because you're working at the time. Now they have podcasts and that sort of thing. People want to be able to listen to things when they want to, for better or worse. That's just the way it is now.
I think Rosie O'Donnell was talking about that documentary also. So now Rational Boomer and Rosie O'Donnell. Now I have to watch it.
Yeah. And we didn't talk beforehand either. I don't know her, so no. It was really good. It was really surprisingly good. It was very historical, and you found out a lot of things that you didn't know. And I like documentaries anyway, and I just didn't think this would be the kind that I'd like. But I was surprised by that. Shell, thank you for coming on. I'm going to get a couple other people on. It's always great to hear from you.
Thank
It's
you.
always great to hear from
Bye.
you, and please come back.
Absolutely.
Somebody, this past week, in terms of deaths, we've had some tragedies. We had Malcolm Jamal Warner, fun guy. He was on the Cosby Show. He died way too young. It's a tragedy. We had Ozzy Osbourne. He became kind of a treasure in this country to a lot of people, and he passed away, and that was sad. Chuck Mangione.
Yes.
Chuck Mangione from the 70s and 80s, he passed away. He was about 84 years old, and that was
Great
sad.
musician.
Amazing trumpet
But then Hulk Hogan passed away, and I say, shit happens. I'm not a big fan of Hulk Hogan at this point.
Good news, everyone.
Yeah. When somebody told me that Hulk Hogan died, when somebody told me Hulk Hogan died, I could only refer to an old joke that had to do with lawyers. And they said, "What do you think? Hulk Hogan died?" And I said, "Good start," because that's what it is. I mean, this guy was obviously a big time Trump humper. He was a racist. He said what he said. He was a grifter for many years after he was no longer the champion of the WWF or WWE. I can't feel sorry for this guy because I think he seems like a despicable piece of shit.
Somebody just said maybe Dr. Phil can join him.
Yeah. Dr. Phil's another one I'm not too thrilled about these days.
He's a piece of shit.
He's a fucking goof. Let's pull somebody else up here. And this is Tracy. Let's see if Tracy, how you doing? What's on your mind? Hello, Tracy.
Tracy is not here.
Tracy has left the building. Hello, Tracy. All right. Well, thanks for trying, Tracy. Maybe we'll get you next time. Doesn't it seem weird? They always say people pass away in threes, but now we got 4 or 5 people in one short stretch. I'm wondering if it's not, the typical celebrity deaths, if we aren't looking at the fucking rapture right now.
Oh, God, Mike, the rapture. Oh,
I don't
You know what?
I have to worry about that.
Yeah,
I'm not getting raptured.
I'll just fucking stay here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to pull, he's not asking to come up, but I'll pull him up anyway, see if he does it. Trucker T. Hey, Trucker T. You weren't asking to come up, but I dragged you up anyway. What's up?
Yeah, I know. I was just kind of sitting back. There's so much that's going through my head today. I'm trying to wrap my head around it, right? So I heard a couple things, and I'm not sure if you guys talked about this or not, but there was one senator, I think the senator from Oklahoma, stopped the vote for them to release the Epstein files. And then I saw another video where they pulled some kind of stunt and actually received the vote. So I'm kind of confused on that one.
My understanding is that they did get the votes to secure it. It was 8-2 on committee
Oh, okay.
to subpoena the files.
Right. And they have, and she has 30 days to turn them over.
Correct.
Well, let me rephrase that. 30 days from the time she receives the subpoena.
How many of you think they're going to be looking for a loophole? I'll give you an example of what they just did. They had Alina Habba. She was a prosecutor. I don't know which district. She was the interim prosecutor. She could only be there 120 days. After the 120 days, you take it to the some judges, and they decide whether she can stay or not, or she has to get approved by Congress. Well, the judges said, "Nah, we don't want her back," and she was gone. They put the second in charge as the prosecutor. Donald Trump fires her and then puts Alina Habba back in, presumably for another 4 months, 120 days. Now, this
Didn't a
certainly
judge say
can't be
no?
legal, but who's going to stop him?
Didn't a judge say no to that? Tell him get the hell out?
I don't
I
think
mean,
so. I mean, you would just presume that they would do that, but look at all the
and
things
he's
that Donald Trump
they're doing
and
that because she can't get through the House. She can't get through the Senate. She
no.
can't get through the Senate. Could you imagine Senate hearings of Alina Habba as a federal prosecutor in New Jersey? Oh my
Well,
lord!
they did that with another prosecutor. The guy was
The DC guy.
in a similar situation. They kicked him out, and then they made him his own assistant. So then he came back and was the prosecutor again. I mean, it's just the whole thing is silly and it's ridiculous. But this is part and parcel to what Donald Trump does on a fucking daily basis. And everybody says, you can't do that. Well, who says? Nobody's stopping him.
Well, I'm sure that'll be, excuse me, episode 28 of South Park next week.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, but it's kind of sad, the incompetency. One of them, a FEMA guy who was the head of emergency response for flood and diving, quit because he says we're in Texas, we're not doing anything. They're not doing anything. They're just standing around. They don't care. They really don't care. In the state of Texas, instead of dealing with that, what are they having? A special session of gerrymandering. I mean, Republicans don't care about Americans, but Americans keep voting for Republicans, which is the biggest damn puzzle that historians will try to unweave for decades after we're gone.
Well, you know what, Will? I've seen a lot of videos where the majority of them, and even the loudmouth ones, like let's just take the shaman, for example, are turning on them. So I think we're going to start to see a huge shift because these guys that are turning are the ones with the loud voices. Nick Fuentes, the shaman, and all these other low-lying MAGA podcasters are all turning their back on them. So I'm seeing a shift.
T, let me say, I said this earlier, and I want to see what you think about this. Donald Trump promised him the Epstein files, and MAGA was all over it because they thought they would own the libtards in getting these files. Now, at the time when that was promised, there was no talk amongst these idiots about whether Donald Trump was on it or not. As far as they concerned, he wasn't on it. Now, we knew differently, but they didn't know differently. So now we get to this point, and Donald Trump's only concern right now is that he's not tied to the Epstein files. He's going to try everything he can to make it look like he's not tied to them, which is going to be hard when you have 1,000 FBI agents going over 100,000 pages in 24 hours to flag your name, and they obviously kept pretty busy. But my point is that if Donald Trump thinks he can just say, well, I had nothing to do with it, let's forget about it, they aren't going to forget about it because they didn't come into this looking to expose or save Donald Trump. They wanted all the libtards. They wanted all the rich people, the elite people. So Donald Trump, if he could extricate himself from this Epstein thing, and he can't, but if he could, that would not be enough for the Trumplafucks, for the radical right. They want the files. Transcripts aren't going to be enough. Ghislaine Maxwell isn't going to be enough. They want the files, and they know they got the files, so it shouldn't be a problem to turn them over.
I agree with you, and here's what I agree with. So when he was running on that, he campaigned on that for years, the Epstein files,
Right.
and owning the libs and whoever else was on that file, right? But he didn't implicate himself in that, and nor would he ever implicate himself in that. Back in May, they told him, "Hey, you're all over this thing." So, like you and TJ said, they go out and get 1,000 FBI agents to take him off of serious crime to scratch his name. Well, let me rephrase that: to flag his name on every file, right? And they probably got finger rot from.
No, scratch was the right word.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't want his live to get taken down for misinformation. They called it flag, right? And now you've got these prominent congressmen, Republicans, saying, "You know what? Just release the damn files. I'm sick of it. I'm tired of it. Just release the damn files," quote unquote. So I think this is a mountain too far for him, and he's going to perish on this mountain because he fooled them. And just like the guy told me, he's like, "Hey, I'm used to them lying to you guys, but now he's lying to us." And the shaman, the shaman is a guy with a Roman hat and the paint on his face and, all of that, right? That's that guy.
Who was at the Capitol at January 6th?
Yeah, when he's calling him a big fat piece of shit and F you, then it's over. Because he was their QAnon leader. This guy's turned in.
Have you noticed too, T? I think maybe you guys noticed. Do you hear about QAnon anymore? You don't.
No, you don't.
It's like since Project 2025 and showed up, I haven't heard a word about QAnon.
Well, because they're silently pulling away from this guy. They don't want to. Look what happened in Alabama, right? There were so many MAGAs that was posting about what happened in Alabama with the bunker situation. They were just disgusted by it, as well as they should have been.
Oh, explain that, because I saw that, because some people might know it. T. Tell them what that situation is.
Okay, so with TikTok language, the bunker was a place that had minor children tied and chained, and just let your mind go from there, right?
Is this like the pizza shop thing?
But this was worse.
Reality, worse than that.
This was actually true.
Think that the worst thing in a dungeon ever.
Yeah,
it's horrendous.
And there's 30. Like the last I saw, the count was up to 6 that they've arrested, and I think they finally got the mom who was exploiting the children. That was just disgusting. And then now there's another senator that just got, or not senator, but what did they call him, commissioner or something, who got caught up in that. And you had this border patrol agent who got caught up in it. They don't like that, and as well they should. And now their fearless leader is one of those people, and they don't like it, so they're just turning their back on it.
Well, they've been conditioned to believe that the Epstein list is just a bunch of Democrats.
Bingo.
Well, that's why their ire is so high, because they think that it's Bill Clinton and it's Chuck Schumer and all, like they honestly believe that. So that's why they're chomping at the bit. But when it all comes out into the open, they're going to be disappointed.
Right. Well,
and here's the thing. Gee, I'm sorry.
Yeah, some are making videos now, to your point, saying, well, you guys know Bill Clinton is on that list, right?
We do know that.
And we're like, we don't care if he's on it or not.
Have you seen all the counter videos that are like the saying like, we don't care. Like, you know what? If it's Biden, if it's Clinton, if it's my fucking cousin, my brother, my uncle,
yeah, put them in jail. Who gives
exactly?
Yeah.
Like, if you violated an underage child, go to jail.
Well, but that's the difference between us and them. We hold people accountable, and they don't.
Right. Anyway, here's the thing. Do me a favor. If it is Chuck Schumer on that list and all those and Democratic leaders, you're helping us out.
Right.
Release it. Really. Because if your name's on the list, but the thing about it is that Pam Bondi knows who's on the list. And if I'm correct me if I'm wrong, wasn't she the state prosecutor or the state attorney general when Epstein and Maxwell thing went down? Or am I missing it?
From 2010 to 2019, yes, sir.
Yeah. Absolutely. I'm going to pull somebody else up here to just give somebody a chance to ask a question. This gentleman is called Gray Tiger. And Gray Tiger, how you doing? And what's on your mind?
Let me turn this TV off. Well, I hear you guys, and you're having a very good discussion. I hear you, and I just wanted to throw this in. Yes, it's all about manipulation. Yes, I think he's been lying all the time, and I'm not partisan. I'm an independent. But the question I put in there, and you brought me up, was, what do you guys now think of the president now trying to throw or trying to get that red meat up there by speaking about Obama? Just like you said, they were conditioned. I said Pavlov's dog. What do you think now he's trying to divert? That's all.
Well, Gray Tiger, it's absolutely ridiculous for a couple of reasons. First of all, they're talking about getting a special counsel or special prosecutor in on this. They already did that back in 2016 or 17 with Durham, and Durham didn't find jack shit. So to put another one on doesn't make any sense. Everything that's been said about him by Donald Trump has been debunked. It's just silly at this point. But more importantly, even if Obama did do something wrong, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's got immunity now.
Yeah, I think
according
so.
to what the Supreme Court. Mm-hmm. So what the hell are you going to do? It's just noise. Donald Trump does this all the time. I'm going to sue you. I'm coming after you. And 99% of the time he doesn't do it because he's got no basis to do it. It's just noise, and it's just a matter of
it feels like a
who gets taken in by the noise.
It sounds like a homegrown wag the dog. Wag the dog.
Yeah, and part of it too is that you have to understand this isn't just Trump latched onto it because Tulsi Gabbard was in the doghouse after the Iran bombing, because she basically did her job for a moment and said, no, we didn't, basically said the truth about what happened in the bombing. She needed to get into his good graces, and she's the one who's perpetuating this right now. Hell, she even had a part of that news conference saying that she has proof that Hillary Clinton, when she was Secretary of State, was taking tranquilizers because she was insane. I swear, that's what she said. That's
but
what
who cares?
She's so desperate and now Trump loves her now because he's saying, yes, Tulsi's found it all for me. Thank you, because he's hopped on that as a distraction, and he hates Obama anyway. So,
what do you guys think he's going to get out of Maxwell? I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm just going to say something about Tulsi Gabbard. She spoke in front of a crowd, and she was making these accusations. And somebody asked her, this is how she answered this. They asked her, well, you guys looked at that with the Durham and some other people. You found nothing. What's different about today? What more have you found today? You know what she said? She said, well, that's for the media to dig out and do your investigations. Oh, you're just pulling this shit out of your ass.
Yes, exactly.
And you're just saying shit, just hoping you can start something. That's all Donald Trump does. That's all his lackeys do. It's ridiculous.
So what do you think he's going to get out of this, just Miss Waxwell? Because it feels like there's a pardon coming up. It feels like she's positioning herself as, oh, no, Trump had nothing to do with any of it. What do you guys think?
Well, you know what? Here's what I think is going to happen. I think that she is putting herself in a position for a pardon. Mm-hmm. And then I think she's going to get her revenge for the year she spent in prison.
You know, Rebecca, I agree with that because I heard today that she requested the meeting instead of them. So maybe there's a there to that.
Well,
I think she's going to take advantage of the situation that she can bend it in her favor, because there's no Epstein files, there's no client list, so why is she in prison? And I think she's going to take advantage of it and get herself out, and then she's going to fucking give up the goods.
Make a tell-all. Yeah, tell-all.
Can I comment something on here? So I saw something flash up on a social media platform that I won't mention on this app, but it showed up, and it said that Ghislaine Maxwell met with Todd Blanche, mm-hmm. and she went back into prison carrying a box of, like a box, like a documents box.
Right.
So I'm curious to know what was given to her.
She might have had a legal work, but here's the deal. The very meeting itself was unprecedented. Someone in the high in the Justice Department don't meet someone like that to discuss anything like that.
No, not a convicted felon. Not like that.
And I will tell you this, you know, with Ghislaine Maxwell, I think I look at this a little bit differently. Of course, she's going to do anything she can to get out of jail.
Of course.
But she is an atrocious criminal. First of all, Todd Blanche is very close friends to her attorney, which is interesting. And her
Isn't he
attorney
dead?
came out and said, "Well, it went really good," and all that stuff. And but here's the thing. I'm really hoping that Donald Trump pardons Ghislaine Maxwell. And here's why: because that would be the biggest fuck up.
Oh,
No
no,
matter
yeah.
what Ghislaine Maxwell says, no matter what Ghislaine Maxwell says, the mouth-breathing, red meat-eating, dumb motherfuckers, they want the fucking evidence. They want the documents. They can say it doesn't exist, but we know it does because of all the reports that have come out. We know the documents are there. We know Bondi has them. They're going to be screaming about this until they get it. And if Ghislaine Maxwell comes out and says, yeah, there's nothing here. You're right. I'm in jail for 20 years for nothing. They ain't going to buy that shit.
Yeah.
They're going to keep fighting to get those documents out, and
Wait a minute.
Democrats
wait.
are going to keep fighting.
Wait, but you just
Yeah.
said something under the Open Records Act. Under the Open Records Act, I mean, unless her case is sealed, you're right. The very documents that they used to convict her is the list, I would imagine, and they've already they already had the evidence for Epstein himself. So there's a there. Okay, yeah.
But see, Donald Trump is all about covering his own ass. That's all he cares about. And frankly, the Trumplafucks don't care about that as much as they care about everything else. That's where he'll make the mistake. Ghislaine will come out and she'll say, well, Donald wasn't involved. And he'll say, see, we can just forget about it and move on. They ain't forgetting about it. They aren't going to forget about it.
Here's two things. MJ5150 in the comments said something that was pretty interesting. He said she requested the meeting when they said there was no list, meaning, oh, bullshit, there is a list and I got it, right?
Well,
And the second
that's
thing,
leverage.
Mike, yeah, absolutely is leverage. The second thing is her lawyer, Trump wanted him to be on his team, but for some reason they couldn't come to terms. So they're all in the same stink pot.
Yeah. Yeah,
How,
it's
what bugs me is that, and I saw a comment, and I it's going to be sad if Fox and the right-wing media is trying to say that she's innocent, that she was railroaded.
Oof, that's bad.
She had a fair trial. She had an extremely fair trial, and a jury of her peers convicted her of some of the most heinous crimes that people.
Sir, a jury.
Yeah, I'm
of your
sorry.
No. I interrupt you just to be sarcastic. A jury of your peers nowadays is just another word for Democrats. I apologize. I had to say that because they've never believed
Oh,
in the
that's
jury.
what you. That's how they're going to sell it. Is what you're saying, brother? Okay, I got you. I'm just I'm disgusted by it in the sense that this is the most heinous things that we're supposed to protect children from. But you have people in power that took advantage of that and are still taking advantage of it. You know, Trump ended the human trafficking arm of the Justice Department.
Yeah.
They ended it. I mean, it's like they're fighting a law in Washington with the Catholic Church. Someone better tell the Pope this, to close a loophole that requires clergy to tell if children are abused in confessional. There's a tracking here that people just don't get it. It's how they say they love children, but they make this so gross. They're not
Will?
protecting children. They're making it worse.
Well, Will, when you're the abuser in the confessional, you're not going to report it.
Exactly.
Right.
Will, did you see the photo of Pam Bondi down in the Epstein, one of his parties?
Yes.
So
Yeah, she was having a good old time.
yeah, this
She's
is
knee deep in this. She is waist deep in this.
exactly.
That's why panic's running around. That's why she's at Alcatraz saying, yeah, we could open this prison. You're just trying to distract from the worst crimes. And that's the thing. No one's really talking about. They keep going to Epstein files. Do you know what they did? No one's saying what they did.
Yeah,
It's all
true.
sanitized
Say,
by
yeah,
the
that's
media.
true. Yeah,
These people did the worst things you can do to children.
yeah.
They sold them like cattle to be used by rich men. And no one says that.
Didn't
And
Epstein
it's
make
the
billions?
truth.
Epstein made billions. Right? Didn't they just came out with the fact that they found one of his accounts? He had a lot of money in different
Well,
accounts.
a
You
bunch
know
of
what?
accounts, $1.5 billion. Yeah, there's a lot of money, and that's the other thing that we know they have. We know they have all the financial
Receipts.
information, where this stuff came from, where it went to, and we should be able to see that too. I mean, that's not going to expose any victims or anything. We want to see where the money's coming from because somebody sent them as much as $100 million. That can only be a few people. So it's going to be interesting for them to try to continue to say, oh, it doesn't exist. Nobody's going to buy that, especially the Trumplefucks.
You know what would be the best is if Melania comes out and she like details her ordeal as an underage child.
Yeah, I don't know. She was
Well,
half naked on the plane. I doubt if she come out.
Yeah, isn't that
well,
where
she,
she met Trump on the
Well,
plane?
but she
through Epstein.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. Oh God,
that,
can somebody make
that's
sense of
why
this?
she's Trump's wife.
Can anybody make sense of it? This is bizarre work because you know what? It's amazing how that side. You're right. They want to make sure that AB doesn't have. They want to protect the kids, but you want to make the kids work at an underage, and then they could be sold around the world and blah blah blah. This is crazy.
So, Great Tiger, let me say this to you. To us, normal people, it's 100% bizarre world. But when you hit that billionaire status, there's a lot of things that go on that we're not privy to. They don't want us privy to it, and they think that it's okay. But once it starts to crumble like it is, now everybody's getting nervous because that lifestyle is supposed to be one of a secret, right?
It's a
Where
Caesar type lifestyle. Caesar.
exactly where if you've got to meet up on
Caligula.
Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
But you
meet
know
up on the
what?
barge and
The scary thing is that I mean I've seen the show Squid Games, and they're in the first season. There's that part where these rich people come in to bet on these people's deaths for their entertainment, wearing masks, and I'm thinking, well, that's okay, but that's kind of a reach. I don't think it's a reach anymore, guys. I really don't.
No.
Oh, I see.
I mean, that's scary where they think of us human beings as nothing more than just playthings.
Chattel.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they'll
Guys,
start
Yeah.
but guys, you know what? I'm gonna say something. Look, you know what? I caught this, and tell me if anybody caught this. Remember when Rick Perry ran for president? And remember when Rick Perry
Yeah.
made that big flub? We're gonna get rid of the EPA, and we're gonna get rid of the Department of Education. Remember, and he made that flub, right? And I sat there when I watched that the first time. I said, "Okay, wait a minute. He's talking about getting rid of the environmental protection, and these guys are cheering him on. He's talking
Yeah.
about getting rid of the, and these guys are, and I'm like thinking, am I losing something here? Because I know what these acronyms stand for, and it's just like, and I'm bringing that to today, the big beautiful bill. I'm not trying to change the subject, but when you say about the billionaires, we've just separated ourselves. The class. I mean, this beautiful, big beautiful bill. We're cutting Social Security, Medicaid, Medicare, food stamps, Department of Education. They're tearing down every social structure that built this country up to just skim off all that fat off the top and keep it for themselves. So we're going to see more of this Caligula stuff because I mean, you're going to have more people destitute and desperate, willing to do anything for the money. And I don't know. It's just, it doesn't feel good. I'll stop there.
And the irony is that this is all from the Lyndon Johnson war on poverty. All the things you're seeing that they're cutting is what Lyndon Johnson, a
True.
Texas Democrat,
True.
in the time of Jim Crow, came up with because he was sick of what he saw in his own state. There's a book I have here called the Pot Liquor Papers, what talks about Johnson going through the South and seeing such destitute, poor people. Some people that work for him in the White House, family members, that he used as his impetus to make senators come up with the social programs we have now. And that's what you're going to return to. He is talking about people who had nothing, no food, living in dirt.
But
And he tried to raise them up, but they're destroying all of it for what?
hold on.
It
But you know
just
what?
makes no sense to me.
Add that add the big beautiful bill with the upcoming AI taking a lot of jobs. Yeah.
Well, they're getting what they want. They want people to be poor and broke, and they want to have all the money. And that's the thing we've got to be fighting against. I don't know what you guys think, but in terms of Donald Trump and MAGA and all this stuff, we've tried a lot of ways through courts and things to try to take these people down. And it seems like the only way that's going to work is continue to expose and embarrass Donald Trump, because the more we do that, the more he spins out of control, and he's spinning right now. And push it with this Epstein thing so they self-destruct. They destroy themselves. And we're starting to see that to a certain extent. But all the things the Democrats have tried has not worked.
Failed, yes.
We've got to keep pushing them, keep embarrassing them, keep them in the narrative, exactly what they did to the Democrats until they did destroy themselves. I don't know. That might be a lot to ask, but that seems like the only way to me right now.
I'm really hoping is that this so-called blackout, this August 8th strike, and enough people just stop and don't do anything. Just don't
What's this?
stay
What's that?
home.
What's that? What is that?
What's going on is that a lot of people are calling for, especially a nationwide strike, because the problem is that the oligarchs and the rich think that we're just a dime a dozen. They'll replace us. You know, we'll get rid of them. We'll get one more. We don't need them. That we aren't worth it because we don't do what they do. But if everyone stopped working for one day, literally stayed home, took a hit, I mean, I'm going to do it on the day, because I'll just sit home and I will take a hit off my paycheck and not do it and sit there, and I'm sick and I'm massive sick, and just shut everything down. That would make a note to people that we are still in charge of this. The government is of the people, by the people. And the problem is our politicians have freaking forgotten that. And we need to remind them, and I'm not talking violently, that's a big, if you get enough people to shut this country down, then they'll have to go, oh,
But
yeah.
listen, I just want to say economically, I mean, I hear what you're saying and I appreciate it, but I don't know, because economically, after that one day, I still got a mortgage. I still got electricity. And I'm sad to say that. I'm not saying I'm a quitter if there's any other, but that's where I'm facing my issue. But you know what I'm doing?
No, I got you.
Yeah.
And I'm in the same boat you are, sir. It's just that we have to send a message. Because the point is that what you're talking about is like, if they get us to the bottom line, you're going to get to a point where people have nothing to lose. True. And when you get people who have nothing to lose, you get the French Revolution, you get the Russian Revolution. And that's the thing these people don't get. Eventually, when people have nothing to lose, then it gets really bad.
I'm sorry.
Because at this point, fighting that and the consequences of it are better than living the life you have now. That's truth.
Guys, let me interject, and I need everybody, if you can throw a comment in. I hear what you're saying, but I'm sorry. And I don't want a revolution. I have a 19-year-old kid, but you know what? I think it's got, I've sat back and I can't, like someone mentioned just a minute, I have absolute zero confidence in the Democrats now. I was a Democrat. I guess you could say I used to caucus with them, but I mean, I'm an independent. And I am willing to start up an independent, but I'm not going there. Listen, we sat back and said he's supposed to be impeached for this. He didn't get impeached. We all sat back and watched January 6th. He didn't get stopped. This guy got felony. That didn't stop him. I don't know. Before he became president, he said to his own daughter, if you were my daughter, I'd ban. Dude, I don't know what can stop him at this point. And even this Epstein situation I see as a distraction, but he's not going to get, I can't see the MAGA, maybe the midterm election, maybe something, but I don't have confidence in it because of everything I've seen. I've not had confidence that there's going to be an opposition force to stop him unless there is something. And I'll let anybody else comment.
I don't disagree with you. I don't disagree with you.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy to get frustrated when, like I've said, we've done a lot of things and nothing has worked. We can't count on the Democrats to do anything because they prove that they're pretty much impotent. It is left up to us, and not enough of us really know what to do. And if we do know what to do, maybe aren't in a position to do it, like Gray Tiger was saying, or people just aren't engaged enough to do anything. I mean, that's part of the reason why
Well,
Kamala lost the election. People didn't do anything.
and the problem is that we're going to see that they're going to push something. They're going to push people to a reaction in like that's happening on the streets soon. Because Holman says he wants to go into New York and start cleaning streets. Good luck with that. Trying in certain parts of LA, they got pushed out. People in Los Angeles have been patient, and they really have. They haven't gone to the next level. They almost came to the next level when they saw chained people, kids coming out of the Roybal building. Yeah, where are those children? Where are those children? We don't know where those children went. That's another thing that bothers me. But I share with Great Ted because I think the only thing left is the Grim Reaper because that's the only thing that's getting done.
How about this? I know this is a long shot, but I really truly believe that we need to. I think there's, and I know this sounds crazy, and I'm going to preface what I'm going to say. It sounds crazy, but I honestly have confidence we need to come up with a third party. We need to come up with a threat, a force, a uniting force. You got people who are disaffected by Republicans, who are Republicans. You got people who are disaffected, like myself, who's a Democrat and don't want to be a Democrat. I think independence can be a strong. Go ahead. I'm sorry. You want to say something?
But the problem is that
that's very easier said than done.
Of course.
yeah, it's easier to go in to the Democratic Party and basically bore it out and come up with a better strategy like what's going on in New York than the third party, because the third party is basically it couldn't get through the system it is now. But you go in and bore out the Democratic Party and get rid of the people on top who are weak, they're starting to feel the heat too. And primaries are not going to work for the Democrats either. They don't get it. Nancy Pelosi is not going to get out of the Democratic primary in San Francisco. I will guarantee that.
But that's structured. That Democratic.
That structure, but you have to understand me, Great Taker. Within the structure, if you take the leadership from them and then push it a different way, that's the only way to do it in the short term.
All right, let me just say this. Let me say this.
That's a long term.
But let me say this. I think, and this is, and I'm sure everybody can agree, the money, the way they structured now, the money still pollutes. And even if you try to hull out the system, they're still in league with the big money. That's the only reason why I was talking about third party. You need to start fresh. But the people, I feel that the people are intelligent enough back for our forefathers. We have enough equipment, technology. So I think if the people organically do something different, but I mean, it is a good idea. You're right. Maybe they should hull out the Democrats. But I just feel that the Democrats is too entrenched in their behavior. And I don't have confidence that.
But I'll say this: any worst Democrat that we talk about, who talks about policy or maybe a beholden to AIPAC, it's a lot better than any fascist Republican right now. I will say that we have to look at that too, because we can't have. Let's put it this way: we can't have the whole cake. But I will take a slice of it to get rid of him so we can become the bakers. Because the problem right now, if we keep thinking, oh, we have to get rid of everything, we can't. Because we have to get rid of the rot first before we can rebuild. And if that means taking the Democratic Party and restructuring it, yes, then you can change it. But right now, we have to get rid of these people. We have to.
Well, along with what Gray Tiger said, and what Will said, a third party doesn't work. We've tried that. It's not going to work. It just becomes a spoiler, and hopefully it doesn't spoil it for your favorite party. What we've got to do is somehow we've got to teach people. We got to teach people in this country not to vote for parties. We got to teach people to vote for people. And whoever it is, I've said that before. I'm not Democrat. I'm not Republican. The only thing I believe is truth over lies, justice over injustice, decency over indecency. If a person offers the things I want, I'm going to vote for them regardless of what their party is. We've got to somehow make parties inconsequential. Right. And I don't know how you do that other than, teaching people to focus on what's best for them as opposed to their little club that they happen to be a fucking affiliated with.
But you're right. And but that's why I mentioned independence, because you're right. You said the magic word, and that is untethering people to the party. So you're right. I agree.
Right.
Hey, Mike. I
Yeah.
want to give this is on, I'm going to change the topic just a smidge. I read something today that the Trump administration has quietly signed an executive order and trying to get it into law to get rid of the 60 mile per hour, 65, 68 mile per hour for all the semis that are out there. And I'm telling you, that is the worst thing in the world because I've been
more
in the
deaths,
trucking
yes.
industry for over 30 years. And if those big rigs get to going that fast again, we're going to go
can't stop.
back to where we were. So just be careful when you guys are out there.
I can't drive 55 anymore. Huh?
I used to be a traffic reporter for 27 years, and I watched our freeways on cameras all day. And some of the most tragic, devastating crashes I've seen are those involving a semi. And if you say these semis can go faster than they already go, a lot of people are going to die. And I can say that as kind of an expert because I've watched people die on the freeways from truck accidents. You know, if they aren't maintained properly, if the people driving them aren't doing what they're supposed to do. But that's typical of Donald Trump. You know, people. That's what happens when Donald Trump becomes president. People die. 1 million people died of COVID. We've got people dying in Gaza because of Donald Trump. We've got people dying in Africa because of Donald Trump. They don't care about death. And the question is, do you care about it? Because if you care about it, then you need to do something by getting that motherfucker the hell out of there.
Yeah, I mean,
Exactly.
nothing said Trump administration than burning 1 million pounds of food destined
Yeah.
for starving people.
Yeah, but you know,
That's all
but
he got to say.
the host. Just tagging on to what you just said, host. You're right. We need to get him out of there. But do we really feel that it's going to be frictionless? Do we really, truly, as
No.
much walls and stuff that he's tearing down, the fact that he's not facing no consequences for nothing he has done, do we really think he's going to just walk away in the next 4 years, 3 years?
I'll take friction over fire.
Yeah.
Amen.
Agree-
And also,
Well-
he ain't going to last 4 years. Go ahead, Rebecca. I'm sorry.
I was just agreeing with T. The friction over fire.
And also, he's not. Father Time is not defeated. And if you look at that man, it's catching up with him. And the thing about it is that people say, well, you shouldn't make jokes about him. What good is that? It's stressing him out. Look at him. I mean, every people who've seen that the swollen ankles and the veins, they're trying to push it off. No, those are signs of congestive heart failure. That man is stressing. You could see
Yeah.
it.
I have, I'm not a real religious guy, but I would guess I'm Christian. And I have faith that God will do the right thing. And it's starting to show on Donald Trump's face and on his pudgy little body.
Wait.
Hopefully,
No, I'm sorry. Go
Yeah.
ahead. I was just going to comment
No.
about the statement about his uncle at MIT and Ted Kaczynski, which is showing his mental.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
yeah. Yeah, well, he said he had an uncle. He always talks about his uncle at MIT because he was smart. Then automatically Donald Trump's smart. He said he taught Ted Kaczynski
Isn't that the bomber?
at MIT.
Yeah, you know
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah. He's bragging about that.
And
And the
Ted
thing-
Kaczynski never went to MIT.
No, he never went to MIT. It's just a flat out bullshit lie. I tell you what, we're coming to the end here. I'm going to wrap things up. Great Tiger, thank you. Will, thank you. Trucker T, TJ,
Thank you. Appreciate you,
Rebecca,
brother.
thank you for all your extra help. Shell, for moderating and coming on the show. Everybody that was showing up on the show, I appreciate it immensely. It makes this more interesting to listen to, and that's because of you guys, not because of me. So for all of you listening, I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.
Thanks, Mike.
Have a good night, man.